Imagine this. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon, and you're lost in the endless scroll of social media on your phone. Hours slip by unnoticed as you seek entertainment to fill the void of boredom. Sound familiar? What if I told you that boredom holds the key to unlocking hidden talent and desires? Boredom allows a creative boost, reduces stress, and brings a greater connection with yourself. Boredom led me to do this. Before I reveal what and why I did this, let me explain how to be bored. Step 1. Eliminate the default. Step 2. Replace with non-stimulating activities like reading, napping, exercising, chores, hobbies, whatever you can do that doesn't stimulate you too much. Step 3. Fight the urge to default back to devices. So, one boring day, my sister went to entertain one of her newfound hobbies, mahjong. She wanted to practice creating hands with herself, but it was difficult to do and would be easier if she had something like this. I also watched a video by Ray Su interviewing YouTuber Jay Scholes talking about how he quit his YouTube addiction. He talked about the mindless entertainment that YouTube has to offer and it not aligning with his goals and what's important with him. He talked about how he likes journaling and writing and how self-reflection led him to what his true goals are. So let me ask you, what are you addicted to? Are you attached to YouTube, TV, TikTok, news? Whatever it may be, I want you to actually ask these questions to yourself, pause, and see what you come up with. For me, personally, it is YouTube by far. I'm heavily addicted to it, and boredom clears my thoughts, allowing for deeper desires and bigger goals to surface. It's like tending to a garden after winter. Okay, I'm not a gardener, but this analogy is fire, so just hear me out. By allowing quiet moments to bloom, you nurture the soil of your mind. You plant seeds of intention and meaning, allowing the soil to enrich itself again. With patience, you witness the garden of your life flourish. Okay, that was fire. You cannot lie. That was fire. I don't garden at all. It's like my goal when I retire, when I just grow really old and I'm like, okay, garden arc starting. But for now, I learned that boredom led me to rediscover an old hobby. Just like my sister and Jay Scholes, I'm realizing my true goals and why my habitual phone use slows me down. But there's more to this journey, so let me share an important part of my life. Around mid to early high school, young Andrew grew obsessed with boxing. I watched this anime called Hajime no Ippo, and if you watch one episode of it, you will know why people love boxing, or like why it got me into boxing, because it is so blood boiling. Every episode you watch, the sound effects, the sweat, the punches, the impact, the music, all of it is so good, and it got me so hyped up to get into boxing. So I started boxing at this kickboxing place kind of near my house, and I just did boxing. I didn't do kickboxing, but eventually I liked it so much and I stopped paying for training there. And I was like, you know what? I can do this on my own in a sense. And so I purchased a heavy bag and a heavy bag stand for my garage, or for my parents' garage. And it was amazing. I could practice and train, and it was so accessible and so nice to just go to and just hit the bag and relieve some stress and, you know, get a good workout in. It was amazing, but the problem was a heavy bag and a stand take up a lot of space in a garage, because you can't just put it in there. You need space to work around it as well, like to move around and work the bag. So it wasn't a simple matter of fact of just taking up a small corner of the garage. It actually took a decent chunk, and because of that, because of this not being my garage, this was my parents' garage, so they saw the fact that it was taking up a lot of space and they didn't like that. So eventually it got moved out of the garage into the shed, the evil shed. And when it got moved out of the garage in the shed, my hobby for boxing slowly died out. So I had two heavy bags in that garage, both being 100 pounds, and I had the stand that would hold the heavy bag, and all of it was in the shed, and it was guarded by potential snakes and actual black widow spiders. But I realized it was possible to rearrange the garage and refit the heavy bags and stand into the garage. Okay, so the problem is I need to fit a heavy bag in this corner of the garage. It would probably take up about roughly this much space. So right where this ends, down to roughly that corner of that frame. And I'm gonna need to move all of this stuff to fit it. I need to do this without putting more stuff into the garage. Like, I can't just move all this stuff in this corner or something. Like, I need to somehow organize it where, so we're gonna have to figure out how to play some advanced IRL Tetris here. How to do this, so put this brain to use. Okay, we moved the shelf. We moved it from there to there. So next I'm thinking, if I can delete this, you know, figure something out. I just move this here and we just have so much space. Good luck.
I cried a river over you. Now you say you're lonely.
Okay, we've reached the final boss. I've moved a lot of stuff from this shelf right there. Then I've also moved, I figured out if I just push this back, there's like half the shelf was available. There's also some space here, but not a ton. But now we've got these big blankets that are just bulky. So far, I'm pretty dang satisfied with how much space I've cleared up. Like, remember, this was just bulking up, so we'll figure it out. This is our shed, and so there's the heavy bag stand. There's so many spiders in here. I hate going in here, but there's so many things with boxing gloves, so I'm gonna need that. So so you see the heavy bags? We're gonna have to figure out how to pull those out. So this door's in the way. Let's move this out first. Okay, I've got it this far. I definitely saw a spider crawl across it, but I just gotta deal with it sometimes. This is 100 pounds, by the way. I'm gonna carry it on my back. Get it out of here. One down. I feel like I almost popped a neck. I literally was carrying on my shoulder. I feel like I almost popped some vein here. I'm gonna move these back as well. Get the next one. Okay, I barely put those poles in. See there? But if you see right there, that is a black widow, by the way. So there's a problem because I kind of need to be in this area to get the other heavy bag, which is deeper. Also, by the black widows, a ginormous nest of probably like 100 little baby ones in there. So I'm not sure how many spiders are in here, but the problem is I have this stand and I have some other parts for it in here, and then the heavy bag is back in the corner, so I'm gonna have to be really careful. Okay guys, this is honestly really tough. I have a huge fear of spiders, and I just know there's just so many little dead spiders. Like, you can just see, that's a dead spider, there's another spider. Like, these are all dead, but some of them are alive or barely alive or just fully alive, and there's so many things I like are in here too. Like, I need to get these these mitts out. And then there's like some little thing like, oh, I hope this cable is hit, but I'm trying to get there's like a Smash Bros type of thing in here. I need like my controller and an adapter. Okay, it's just a spider. I will just get poisoned and very sick if I get bit. Not a huge deal. Like, okay, let's just get the heavy bag out. That's plan one. Again, I have to figure out how to get this thing out too, so. Okay, heavy bag first. I got it. I need the stand now and to put those last parts away. We got these two down. The stand, let's get it. Okay, I've recruited my father. He will come shortly. He literally told me, he's like, you need to be careful of spiders and snakes. I'm like, okay, great. So again, the stand is left. Guys, it's beautiful. But here's another problem. So we have these like carabiners, or these aren't carabiners, but these are like hooks. And there's one on the other side. And then you put a carabiner on it to hang up here. But the problem is this piece that goes in here is missing. So I'm gonna need to buy some sort of screw. So we'll figure that out. But that is one of the last steps. But we've done it, boys. We've done it. That feels good, but we'll call it a day. We'll figure out more later. And finally, once I moved everything into the garage, I got it all cleaned and laid out. There it stood, a symbol of overcoming obstacles and overcoming a clear sense of boredom. So boredom led me to realize an old hobby I spent a lot of time, energy, and passion into. And like both my sister and the YouTuber Jay Scholes, I'm realizing what my true goals are and who I want to become and why habitual phone use is slowing me down. I don't necessarily want to be a boxer, but it's just a hobby that brought a lot of peace, fulfillment, and excitement into my life. I simply allowed myself to mostly be bored, and through this remembered a hobby, a challenge in the way of reaching it and deciding to take action and regaining that hobby for myself. And I'm preaching all of this, be boredom, don't give in to media, but at the end of the day, I honestly went and watched YouTube. Boy, if you don't... I didn't watch that much. I watched maybe like 30, 40 minutes, but I just watched some mindless YouTube about like this Spider-Man manga, like Spider-Man fake red manga and then some other random superhero stuff because of the algorithms like, oh, you like this, here's this. But, you know, I think it's important to go in the direction of less media consumption. But at the end of the day, we're also human, and there's some things that just bring joy into your life, like watching random YouTube sometimes. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe because it is literally for free, and comment any videos you'd like to see for, you know, the next videos in the future. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.